Old school forklift cool. So a little while back, I ended up doing something possibly foolish. I ended up buying this old 1969 Allis-Chalmers forklift. It's an FP-40. It's a pretty cool little machine, and it starts, it goes forwards, it goes backwards, it can steer, it can lift stuff up, it can put stuff down. Can it brake? Not a chance, but that's an easy fix. Overall, it runs, it's a pretty cool little machine. Then I did something a little silly. I ended up buying a second machine. Why did I do that? Well, because this one was missing a little bit of sheet metal. It was also a 130-inch mast. And 130 inches, though, is pretty good. It's not good enough for me. Let me show you something. Right over here, I ended up building this industrial racking. Oh, I didn't actually build it. I painted and I assembled it in order to put some of my projects or things that aren't really in season. And in order to maximize space on the main level and on the first level, I had to move that second level a little bit higher than 130 inches. That's a little under 11 feet, which isn't all that practical. Let me show you something else. Right over here in my eternally not ending garage project, I have a mezzanine. And although 130 inches can get something up to the top, I mean, I have very little leeway. I mean, I literally just kind of bump up and scrape. I can't actually lift something like a pallet 4 or 5 inches off the ground to easily pull it down. So that's where this second machine comes in. Compared to this guy, the second machine not only has a 140-something inch mast, it has dual front tires. I'm not too sure if that's going to make a difference, but you know, whatever. It's got the same gas-powered engine, 4-cylinder, and it has an automatic transmission. This guy's got that really cool manual column shift, first, second, reverse. It's got a clutch. The second one basically just has a brake pedal, a gas pedal, and a creep pedal. You put it in reverse or you put it in forward, depending on what you want to do. Now, the second one doesn't really run well. Does it start? Yes. Does it move forwards or backwards? No. Does it steer? I don't know. Does it lift anything up? Absolutely not. Can it brake? Didn't test that either. But it did have the sheet metal, and it did have that high mast. And although I paid more than twice as much for it, I mean, you can't find parts for these things anymore. So they're probably going to come in handy. Now, why did I do all this? Like, wouldn't you tell yourself, you know, Matt, why don't you just take that budget, merge it all together, and go and buy yourself something more recent? I mean, you could probably get something 20 or 30 years newer. I mean, it would have the same lift height, but it would probably also have side shift. It would probably run on propane gas, so you wouldn't get asphyxiated while you're running it around in your garage. The way I see it, I mean, it's as if I was buying my first car with a really limited budget. Wouldn't the smartest thing to do would be to buy like a 1990 Civic? But then again, I got a chance to buy this 1969 muscle car. I mean, and it doesn't run, parts are hard to find, but it's a 1969 muscle car. I mean, that Civic's reliable, you'll just basically put gas in it and go, but do I really want to do that? Now, if you have the same opinion as I do in terms of keeping these old suckers alive and having fun with old junk, well, you're probably going to enjoy this series. I'm going to go through a whole bunch of different steps in order to get this guy or the other guy running properly enough so I can actually use it and enjoy it around my shop. So without further ado, we'll go right to a video of me basically checking it out at the auction, and spoiler alert, I end up buying it, but I hope you enjoy it. Check this out. So we're on site at the old Richie Bros, and gonna maybe end up buying thinking of buying a forklift. So we're here to check that out. Bit of a rainy day, but that's not gonna stop me from checking out some machinery. So stay tuned. So this is one of the contenders over here. It's a Caterpillar. Not too sure what year. It's diesel. And it looks like it's in bad enough shape that I might end up selling cheap. But yeah, that's it. I'm not too sure I want something this modern. This is a little bit too high tech, a little too modern for me. So it's kind of slimy and wet, so I don't really feel like getting on it. But tires are finished, and I got another one. I got set my eyes on. So yeah. So I think we'll carry on. Keep looking for that gem I'm here to see. We got a nice little case skid steer back there with some airless tires. Kind of cool, but gotta keep my eye on the prize. So you always find something cool at the auction. Check this out, an old school Pinto with apparently 17,000 miles on it. This interior. Check it out, check it out. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, kind of reminds me of my grandfather's old Chevette. Kind of, I guess, a predecessor or something. Starts right up. Oh, very nice. It is a nice one. It's in, I guess, miles, which, could this be a Canadian car? I'm not sure. Well, I think there's a key release on this. Yeah. Very nice. Lovely Pinto, but that's not what we're here for. The engine looks pretty clean. Quite ratty looking. Even that looks not too bad. So yeah, fancy little Pinto. Very nice. What a lovely example of a Pinto. Yeah, so normally this whole area would be packed with equipment, but is it COVID? Is it the time of the year? Not that much stuff. Even over here with all this miscellaneous stuff and everything, it's not, yeah, it's not what it once was, but maybe one day it'll be so again. All right, so right next to what I came to see are some of my favorite things at the auctions. These kind of standalone motors. So a little 2-cylinder diesel, a couple big diesels, another little 2-cylinder diesel. This one's pretty cool. Looks pretty complete. You just drop it in, a little Yanmar, and that's it. But yeah, so we came to see these guys, Forklifts, and was this one of them? No. Was this one of them? No. I think I wanted to see, there was a Clark that I might have been interested in. Yeah, right over here. But again, it might be a little too good for me. A little too good for me. Let's check it out. So I mean, overall it's a nice little machine. I think it had like 11,000 hours, which meant that there might be a chance that it'll sell for cheap. It's got the a side shift on it. Yeah, I think so. And which is good. And I think it goes up relatively high. So this would actually be a better suited machine for me. But the cool factor's just not there. And I'm seeing what I came to see right over here. Let's walk over. 1969 Allis-Chalmers FP-40 or something like that. And it says it has a brake problem, but 2,000 hours, FP-40. But just look at how cool this guy looks. Old school forklift cool. I mean, it's got nice big tires on it, so I can use it outdoors. Heavy duty, 1960s build. It's got the bent roll cage just the way I like them. Yeah, not so great. And this one's been painted blue. I'm not sure which organization had this, but painted it blue, the old L2. So yeah, I'm gonna see if it. I don't know if I can start them. It's a gas-powered unit, which I like. It's not propane. So that's just a bit of a hassle for me. Air tires, and yeah, so that's it. There might be a brake issue on it, or that's what it says. Looks like it's got there's a master cylinder over here. I don't really know how the brakes work on these guys, but yeah, hopefully they're like drums or something on the wheels, which is technically easier to fix. So I'm just gonna give this one the old one over, and I'll check back in a few seconds. Pressure and stuff. Let's check and see how it. It works. watch out because it doesn't have any brakes. Should be neutral. All right. Cool. All right, so we got it started. It wasn't too hard, and seems to be running okay. Backfiring like all engines should, and yeah, everything kind of works as we said. The brakes don't work. Master cylinder seems like it's not really doing anything, so that's probably we'll call it possibly an easy fix. And hydraulics work. I don't know if the island's too small, but hydraulics work. I got the mast up to about 3/4 of the height and it started getting all jerky, so I'm not sure if there's a problem. That cylinder doesn't look too good, and yeah, I might be missing hydraulic fluid, I don't know, but yeah, overall, I mean, it runs, it goes forwards, goes backwards, so yeah, I think if we're lucky, we might end up buying it. Another telltale sign that this thing's probably a piece of junk is this puddle of rainbow oil is getting bigger and bigger as I run it. So ran it for about 2 minutes, and yeah, that puddle's getting a little bigger. Also noticed that that cylinder is not in good condition, and for some reason the whole mast kind of torques. This cylinder looks like it's going in more than that one or something, and it sort of goes like this when you get it all the way to the back. But anyways, you know, if the price is right, this might just be the beater I'm looking for the back of the yard. So moving stuff in and out and bringing stuff up to the second floor. So yeah, we'll see if the price is right. Well, as you can see, I ended up bidding on it, buying it, and getting it. It's back here, ready to go. I've actually been using it for the last several months. You know, that's how I got this guy up there. I even built a custom little pallet for it. I haven't really done anything mechanical to it other than put gas in it and put a bunch of hydraulic oil in it because it's got a pretty bad leak. The other one, well, I got that one back too, and I started it up, kind of realized that nothing really works on it, and just sort of parked it with a tarp on it. It's winter now, so I mean, in the meantime, we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna get working on this one. I'll start doing different steps. Carburetor, you know, fuel system, electrical system. The electrical system's a mess. Then we'll have to work towards hydraulic. It's got leaks, it's got issues. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff to do on it. But I mean, we're starting off with something that's a pretty good base for a project. And I got a second one for parts. So if all this seems cool to you, stay tuned for more. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it. Once again, Matt here, signing out.